APBA Offshore is aggressive. See when the boat comes up out of the water.
Oh, contact! They did make contact.
APBA Offshore is extreme. Who will be APBA Offshore proven in Cleveland? We'll find out next from the shadow of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Welcome to round number 5 of the APBA Baja Pro Series. It's the North Coast Rockin' and Roarin' Offshore Grand Prix, presented by Baja Marine Corporation. Hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Shaheen. Welcome to Cleveland, Ohio, home of the world-famous Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Today, here on Lake Erie, Cleveland will also host the next round of the 2001 APBA Offshore Championship Series. We have just crossed the halfway point in the title chase, so all of the teams will be focusing on garnering every point they can towards those coveted crowns handed out at the end of the season. We've had changing weather here in Cleveland as well, and that will greatly affect the race strategy, as we found out from talking to some of the top teams.
Well, right now it's smooth as glass. Yesterday we went out, it was pretty rough, and they say, you know, wind can change in 15 minutes, the whole course changes. That's what we got to figure out. We got to make sure we hit the right setup for our race conditions, and that's going to be the tricky part here.
We're worried about the rudder boats. They're going to be real fast in this water, so we're really looking at racing Drambuie, getting hopefully in front of them 1-2 places. It's going to take the right prop selection, I think, is what the key to today is going to be.
We can look out and see the sea conditions pretty much, and the wind has a lot to do with it. So if the wind's blowing, I think every 5 mile an hour adds up to being about a 1 foot sea. So if it's blowing 10, you got a 2 foot sea. So we regulate it using that as a gauge.
I would love for it to be smooth, and then we can make some changes real quick, you know, because I think we have an advantage in the smooth, because we have to put it a little more on the edge in the rough to run with the bigger boats.
Well, Pat Patel hit it exactly right. Prop selection is going to be key. Here's my colleague, Bill Adam.
One of the things we hear all of the teams talk about is prop choice, how difficult it is and how much of a gamble it can be. But what is choice of propeller? Well, to take a look at this as an example, prop choice really depends on a number of things. One, obviously, is going to be the diameter of the prop, exactly how big it is. And then you can get into the pitch of the blades and the cupping and so on. A great many complexities, and by and large, this is still really a black magic science. But what does it all boil down to? Well, think in terms of wheels. The bigger the diameter across here, the more water you're capable of pushing. What this will do is ultimately give you a much greater top speed, but the acceleration is going to be slowed down. It's kind of like driving your car off in high gear. It doesn't accelerate very fast, but it eventually will go very quickly. To run a smaller prop, it spins up quickly, but sooner or later you're going to reach the point where the engine just won't rev anymore. You don't have a high top speed. So why not keep a whole bunch of props hanging around, you say? Well, think about the cost. A pair of these, about $10,000. You better make the right choice the first time.
Well, the Factory 2 boats are making their way out onto the water, getting ready for the first race of the day. Bill, let's take a look at today's course.
And the course makes it even more challenging. Look in between turns 4 and 1. Now that is inside the seawall, and this becomes even more difficult for them because that will be extremely flat water, a lot of top speed, but right at the end, a hairpin.
Well, the Factory 2 boats are not the biggest, but they're sure pretty quick.
Now, 30 to 39 feet in length, a pair of 502 cubic inch motors, the Merc Cruiser 500 horsepower or the 500 EFI are the engines for this class.
Here's your starting lineup for the Factory 2 boats, brought to you by Cigarette. As you take a look at that, we will tell you that we spoke to some of the top competitors about what to expect here today.
Today, the problem is there's no wind, which makes it flat. Cigarette is a rough water boat. Flat water, we probably won't do as well.
It's a lot flatter, and we're set up for the flat water today, and we're going to be faster on the outside and the inside. It doesn't really matter to us. We're going to kick everybody today.
Wow, sounds like Jim Harvis and Mitch Miller are ready.
3, 2, 1, green flag. Perfect, perfect.
Wow, that looks like a beautiful start, and they're yelling perfect, Bill. Why was that start so good?
Well, naturally, everybody wants to get some sort of an advantage off the start line, but these boats were lined up right dead across. They were perfectly equal, as if they were right behind a line. No advantage at all. But look at the advantage taken here. Now, this is the smoothest part of the course. You can see the boats are starting to spread out already right here. Some running quicker in the calm water.
The Utz Pier 57 machine is your leader. That's the Team Virgin boat. You're riding on board our Volvo Penta onboard camera. There's your race leader right there. And here comes Mitch Miller and Jim Arvis on the outside in the white machine. Boy, they were talking about how they love the smooth water. Look at them cut back to the inside.
Yeah, a nice cut there, right on the inside. They decided to take a little bit different line. They waited and took just a tighter corner through there, and look how it's paying off for them. Boy, they are pulling away, and this confidence is well-founded.
Well, Luke Dickey and Matt Rice had a nice lead going for themselves in the yellow Utz Quality Foods Pier 57 boat, but not for long.
And shades of Fort Myers. Remember back to that race, how fast these guys were on water that was very, very similar. They're doing it again.
Well, and this youngster's enjoying the day on the beach. Stay with us. We're coming right back to Cleveland. Speed Vision coverage of the APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series is brought to you by Baja Marine Corporation. Baja, speed changes you. And by Racing Electronics, the official communications provider to the APBA. Well, the Cigarette Factory 2 division is our first race of the day here, and it's been all the Lake Cumberland Marine Rusty Wallace packed entry of Jim Arvis and Mitch Miller. Jim on the driver and Mitch handling the throttles here today. There's the boat that started out as the early race leader, Luke Dickey and Matt Rice out front, and then quickly succumbing by the time they got to turn number 1 to Mitch and Jim, now holding down second.
Yeah, and you look at the lead that Mitch and Jim are holding right now, and it's a substantial lead, but it really hasn't grown. And that makes me think, are they just playing a little bit of a waiting game here, just leading far enough to maintain the lead, but not risking damaging the machinery? That's almost what it looks like.
Well, and this boat's running great. You know, if it wasn't for the superb performance of Mitch and Jim, Luke and Matt would be having a great day.
That's exactly right. I mean, we saw how fast they were passed right at the start, but then suddenly the gap didn't increase. The gap has maintained a pretty constant. Now, just look up ahead. There is the leader, so you can see it's not far, but tantalizing. Wow.
Wow, look at them. For a day that's supposed to be smooth here on Lake Erie, a lot of air.
There is indeed. You see a good battle for third coming up right behind there. That looks like Team Virgin just coming up on the outside, maybe searching for a little bit smoother water. But up ahead, this battle, boy, it is just raging. These guys are running hard. And the V, it's bringing these boats back down and they're landing so nicely. For these guys, relatively a smooth day.
Now you can hear the throttles are down more than they're lifting off of them here today. Well, this is not the first race of the weekend, though. Let's take a look at the highlights from the Factory 1 race. This took place yesterday where the weather was a lot prettier.
Wow.
Well, the water, however, a lot rougher. BJ Marr and Mark Schnepp. Whoa, what a ride they took in the F-127.
Just the smaller boats, they have to react so much more violent to the water conditions, and you can see the water was rougher. Yeah, it's a bright day, but man, their hands are full right there with the F-190, a hard battle.
David Caruth and Brian Canty in the F-190. And battling with them is this boat right here, the F-113, Dominic Guido and Vincent DeCandia.
They are running hard too, but boy, you can see the leaders are just seemingly pulling away.
On board, the Gecko imported tequila entry of Vincent DeCandia and Dominic Guido, the activator.
Uh-oh. Problem. Yeah, they do have a problem. They're looking out the back and something is not working anymore.
Oh, and a good run for them comes to a screeching halt. Here's the MCS activator, which has just dominated this class all year. BJ Marr and Mark Schnepp. But not to be today. Brian Canty and David Caruth, the F-190, the PropcoPropellers.com, Peter Dean Racing entry, 28-foot Warlock, taking the win here today with Caruth the driver and Canty on the throttles.
We knew we had a boat that maybe could compete, but we didn't realize we could compete as well as today. The activator could out-turn us all day long. We could just beat them in the straights, which is usually different for our boat. Usually we're great in rough water and not very good in the straights, but today the boat went well in the straights instead of the rough water, so today was just a little bit of luck.
Well, today it's been nothing but domination by the F-2-2 of Mitch Miller and Jim Harvis. She watched them out front here in our F2 class racing action.
You know, they really have seemingly got this thing figured out. They run so well in all conditions. This is a combination of a lot of experience in this boat, a lot of careful preparation. Now, this is back in third place. This Herbert and Murray back in there, and they're having a real strong battle right now, Team Virgin. That 36 Cigarette is coming along to challenge them.
And that is a great battle at wide open throttles. On board, Team Virgin, Todd Clinworth, Trace Martin. Oh, and the hula dancer drop.
I think she's getting out of the way of that rainstorm. She does not want to get wet out there, and they're going by them. Terrific burst of speed right there from Team Virgin. It looked like they just suddenly pushed the throttles all the way to the stops.
And a little extra something did Trace in the throttles. The Team Virgin boat solidly taking the position.
And since that boat's debut, that has been such a strong runner. But back up front, look at the speed. This thing is just flying down the course.
That's through the inside portion of the racetrack now, in between the seawalls, what they call the cut. There's Patrick Dunn and Jeff Cresciano in the Let's Play Racing formula. The boat on the inside that holds position being chased by Twisted Sticks, Robert Eubanks and Bruce Kremeyer.
This is a good comparison right now between these two boats. They are battling hard for 5th place. See them getting closer together because up ahead they're going to be running close to one of the markers. And just look how they compare. There is closure going on here, but it is very, very tight as they're going by here.
Well, here they keep going, and that battle not changing at all. I mean, still just nose to nose.
Yeah, you can see they're both riding really well. It looks like he's going to take the lead, though. He is. He actually has gone by. That is now 5th place for Twisted Sticks.
Beautiful paint job on that boat.
Oh, spectacular. That is a great-looking boat.
Well, we're racing fast and furious here on Lake Erie. Stay with us. We're coming back. Welcome back to APBA Offshore Racing, round number 5 from Cleveland, Ohio, here on Lake Erie. Ralph Shaheen alongside of Bill Adam, bringing you the coverage today. Now, this is supposed to be smooth water, but look at how that prop is dancing out of the water, Bill.
Isn't that amazing? You can see the propeller getting right clear on the F22 boat. This is where the throttle man has to be so careful, because if you're not fast and reacting to that throttle, you're going to blow your motors up.
Those were our race leaders. Here is second place, Luke Dickey and Matt Rice.
Yeah. Now what is this all about? There looks like they're ducking down behind the dash almost. Something just
looking behind him too.
Yeah, a little bit of the rub rail along the side.
Now this is the boat they're keeping an eye on. This is third place. Todd Clinworth, the driver, and Trace Martin, the throttle man, Team Virgin.
And a quick pat on the head of their good luck charm. That little hula girl trying to bring them safely to the finish.
Well, there's the race leaders. Mitch Miller and Jim Harvis said at the beginning of the show that they were coming here today to dominate, just like they had in Fort Myers, the other smooth water race of the year, and that is exactly what they have done, taking the win. Second place, the Utz Quality Foods Pier 57 boat. F2 57 going to take second today. Luke Dickey, Matt Rice. And Jim Harvis. Wait a minute. No, it's Beavis.
All right.
Mitch Miller enjoying the laugh.
No wonder they went so fast with a driver like that. Ah, geez.
And Marvin the Martian riding along in shotgun form. I don't think this is a smooch that winner Mitch Miller was looking for, but the good folks at High Tech Performance Trailers have announced that they're going to be joining the APBA in a contingency form.
The first time I went there to visit the High Tech facility, I was blown away by it. High Tech is second to none. You know, they do it right. Everything fits well. Everything is very durable. There's just tons of room in there. We carry extra engines and transmissions, and it's all tucked away very nice and clean. And we've, when we got this trailer not long ago, we literally moved our shop into this trailer. So we now have our shop on wheels. And then we have a lounge area that we can use for business purposes. I hold some business meetings, use it as an office. So these guys are into it. They're going to help us build this circuit, and we couldn't have a better partner.
Great announcement from the folks at APBA and High Tech Performance Trailers this weekend.
Well, the racers very happy about this association. This now is the official trailer of the APB Offshore. Let's get down to Ralph and meet our winners.
Jimmy, you said at the very beginning of this one that you guys are going to take it to them, and you did. What did you know before the start of this race?
I knew that I've got a great crew with Benji and Robert and William and Mitch here. We've got the greatest team. We've had a little bit of bad luck. I've been working on the boat every day. I've been living, sleeping, drinking that boat, and it was ready to rock, and I knew it from the get-go.
But, Mitch, it was a little tricky at the opening stages of this one.
Actually, they had a little gain on us, the Utz boys. We went into the first turn, and I thought they had a little bit of speed, but we felt pretty even. But when we went in the first turn, we took them on the inside. We almost lost it, but from then on, we had them. Man, it was a great race. You did a hell of a job.
You guys have been struggling a little bit as of late. What did you fix to overcome those problems, Jimmy?
Well, we fixed our crew, we fixed our boat, we fixed our attitude. We just fixed life as we know it. We're winning the rest of the races, baby.
Let's take a look at your cigarette finishing order, where you'll see the Utz Quality Foods Pier 57 boat penalized 1 minute. Problem in the post-race inspection kicked them back to third, moving Team Virgin up 1 slot to second. And that would allow Team Virgin to extend their points lead in the Mercury Racing Constructors Championship over the Utz Quality Foods entry. Already completing their race today was the Lucas Oil Super V Light class, where Extreme Stainless, this boat right here, the black number 29, takes the win, but a wild ride in the process, Bill.
Yeah, I think these guys get the award for the greatest number of bruises accumulated during the race. You can see these boats just pop off the waves. It's kind of like a ping pong ball. Look at the way they're running.
Rick Turmo and Bill McComb taking the win, but it was Todd Sippert and Ray Delaney in the Fury entry that would come home in second in a wildly colored entry. A little bit smoother ride for them as they would make their way to a fine second place. Hey, we're coming back to Lake Erie. Hope you join us. APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series, round number 5, continuing in the shadows of Cleveland Brown Stadium, here on the shores of Lake Erie, getting ready for the big boats. And they're all starting to get put into the water. There's a prop selection for Drambuie. Let's check in with John Tomlinson and their preparations. John, as you get ready to go racing, what's the mental checklist that goes through your mind?
Propellers. That and just, I got a lot of confidence in the crew. The guys are good guys. They work hard. We got a big checklist we really go over on this boat, so I'm not worried about that. But you always question, do you have the right propeller? Do you have the boat set up where you want it for this race course, today's weather?
Well, and of course, we can see what they have gone with, and so have the WHM guys. They're going with a similar type of prop. Now, these can change, and it's going to have huge, huge differences, but depending on whether you're inside or outside the channel.
Cat Can Do getting ready, as are the gentlemen who'll be running this boat, Tommy Bahama. Well, the water looks like it's going to be a little bit smoother out there. Is that an advantage for you guys?
Well, we really think that we perform well regardless of the water conditions. Obviously, everybody's been a little stressed out because nobody quite knows what the proper propeller is for these conditions. We took what we think is our best guess. Our fingers are crossed, and I think you'll see a good performance out of us.
What was that guess?
Hopefully the right propeller, that's the guess. We've got a pretty good selection, you know. You've got a choice between speed and acceleration. We went a little bit in between.
WHM pushing off.
Uh-oh. Now that's unusual. Normally when these...
That sounds like your boat.
Well, that does sound like my boat, the one that sank.
Muscle going into the water as well here today, and they've been right in the thick of things all year long. Final adjustments being made to Tommy Bahama, and Cat Can Do warming up. Let's check in with the Muscle guys. Well, you guys had some problems with your motors this morning that you got lucky and found while out testing. What did you find, and did you get it fixed in time?
Yeah, this morning we got up and we just had a little feeling. Let's do a little extra testing. We went out there in the rain, and sure enough, we had a bearing problem in the drive. And the Mercury guys jumped right on it. Our team jumped in. We fixed the problem. We're dialed in, and we are ready to rock and roll.
Well, and you guys made some last-minute changes just before you stuck it in the water. What's your setup going to be? What are you looking for out there?
We're looking for a relatively calm race today. We're properly prepared and ready to put it to the Zenetics boys today.
That's been the battle all year long in that class. Muscle and Zenetics should be a good one. Tommy Bahama pushing out, getting ready to go racing. We'll have it when we come back. APBA Offshore getting ready for round number 5 from Cleveland, Ohio. Ralph Shaheen and Bill Adam with you. There's the beautiful Baja Pace Boat getting ready to lead the Super Cats to the line to get underway. Here's a look at the winners from the Outlaw divisions, and you'll see the P381, the Extreme Boat, Michael Alweiss and Steve Miklos. That's a boat we might be hearing a lot about in the coming future, Bill.
We have got a lot of rumors about that one. I'm looking forward to it.
There's the Drambuie and Ice Machine rolling out the series points leader. As you take a look at the Baja Pro Series starting lineup, we will tell you that the Don Q Rum Boat has made a visit back to the dock. Bill, something's up with that machine.
Yeah, interesting. We're now getting a report that they might have changed propellers. Now, that would be against the rules. We'll have to follow up on it. We'll let you know what we can find out on that.
And WHM Motorsports, the winners at Corpus Christi, the big yellow number 5, back at dock. They've got oiling problems.
And we did hear them having problems starting it up. There is an override switch. When oil pressure is low, it does not allow the motors to run. I think that's what happened. You can see these are the monsters, 38 to 40 feet long. If you twist up the supercharger, 1,600 horsepower. Massive motors on these boats.
The big catamarans. And
5,
here's the start.
4, 3, 2, 1, green flag.
All right, and now we find out who made the right guesses on the propellers. And look at Drambuie here running hard.
On board, Tommy Bahama. There goes Don Q, the blue and white boat on the right side of the screen, screaming out to the front.
Boy, and it looks to me like Don... Wow, now wait a minute. Now look at Bahama coming on strong. I was about to say Don Q were pulling away, but look at Bahama. They have found a whole new gear, and they are rocketing by them.
The Nemshovs are...
They're behind us.
Checking on where the Drambuie boat is. They know they can't be far behind. They're running in third. Tommy Bahama's your leader.
Just amazing. What a show of speed here on the inner harbor. This is the flat water.
You can hear Mark and Paul Nemshov talking, father and son.
All right.
Now it gets a little rougher here, Bill.
Yes, and it is. And that's going to see now how the propeller choice works outside.
And look at Don Q coming right back. And look at Drambuie. When the water gets tougher, they come screaming to the front.
Well, John Tomlinson did show a lot of confidence in his choice propellers, and you can see they have overhauled the Tommy Bahama boat. They are going to drop that boat from a solid first place all the way back to third suddenly.
Now let's check in with the Super V class, the second wave of racers in this one. Boy, what a great battle we have there. Here come the Lucas Oil Super Vs. This has been a battle all season long between Zenetics and Muscle.
Yes, and we heard the Muscle guys talk about their goal is to knock off Zenetics. Zenetics as close to perfection as you can imagine. Also 40 foot long, but these are V hulls. They are running the same 495 to 510 cubic inch, but no superchargers. That is the big difference. It has made a tremendous difference in reliability for these boats.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, green flag.
The beautiful Playboy cigarette boat throwing the green flag out as we're underway.
Oh, and is that a show of acceleration right there? You see that pace boat, the cigarette boat, was going along so fast. But the race boats, well, they just suddenly took over.
Super Cat Light inboard. The Baja Racing starting grid for that one as well. And they're going to be underway here in another moment.
Once more, they're in the milling area. These cats are a little bit shorter, 30 to 37 feet in length. A pair of 502 cubic inch, either the Merc Cruiser HP 500 or the EFI motors.
2, 1, green flag.
And the third wave is underway, and these are inboards and outboards in this division.
Another good start down the smooth part of the course.
Back to the Super Vs, the Lucas Oil Super Vs. There's Zenetics running in second
and
to the Pier 57 boat.
Yeah, the Nemesis is coming right alongside. There is Zenetics just going by there. This Zenetics team has been absolutely awesome this year.
The Zenetics boat is being driven by Wyatt Fountain. Jeff Harris working the throttles. Pier 57 machine. That's Fred Tull as the driver and Joey Gratton the throttle man. Supercat Light inboard. That's where Zip Express is out front right now. And Zip Express is Neil Wabi and Dan Francis, 36-foot Spectre. Running smooth on the inner water. We're coming right back to Cleveland, Ohio for more of Round 5 APBA Offshore. Welcome back to Cleveland. If you're a big fan of APBA Offshore, check this out. APBA Offshore Television presents the 2001 Offshore Collection. From Fort Myers to the season-closing Key West World Championships, all the action from the world's most extreme form of racing can be yours. Single tapes just $22.95, or get the complete 8-race package from Fort Myers to Key West for just $154.95. Call 1-800-VIP-FIVE or send check or money order to the address listed. That's 1-800-VIP-FIVE. Back to the racing with the Baja Supercats. Don Q. Rum, the blue boat, at the top of your screen. He's your leader, but look at Tommy Bahama fighting the horsepower.
Here we go. Now, this is a pretty dramatic demonstration of the difference in propeller choice.
All right, well, we know we got speed on these guys.
Mark Nimshoff, you can hear him talking as you watch the Volvo Penta onboard camera, saying they know they've got the top end speed.
Unbelievable. That's what we were talking about before. Now, right now, they're in 4th gear. That's a big, fast top end.
Oh, man.
Don Q dancing around the corner there. Tommy Bahama maybe had to go a little bit wide at that point, but look at how the other two boats are both pulling ahead once again when they get out in the rough water. They are running that big top-end propeller. The other boats are getting off the turns a lot faster, particularly John Tomlinson and Drambuie on ice.
Well, now when you get into the rougher water, this is where Tomlinson and Hugh Fuller are going to pull away a little bit.
You know, I think a lot of this comes back down to experience, that Fuller and Tomlinson just simply are so good. They have so much time together. They understand each other. They probably took a little bit of a huddle earlier on, decided this is it.
Supercat Light inboard.
All right, Pepper's coming up the side, but yeah, why's he going so fast?
Here comes Pepper. See him just to the right of your screen, the yellow and white boat, working through the screen there, taking over the lead. You're on board with Zip Express, and that's the boat they were talking about.
He's up.
Boy, and you could see the pounding they were taking. Now, right there, you were able to see, too, that they could almost gauge their own boat, what it was going to do by watching the boat up ahead. They saw Peppers hit one of the big waves, knew to lay out of it a little bit.
The Stancombs, father and son, winners at Fort Myers this year. Maybe another one here today. Time now for our GM Vortec Offshore View. We have seen in graphic detail this season just how extreme APBA offshore racing can be. As part of an ongoing effort to keep competitors safe, each racer must complete a dunk test certified by the STARS safety team. The competitors also learn how to float properly in the water. Now, each competitor is put through instruction on what to do in the case of an on-water emergency. And finally, they must complete an egress from a simulated boat rollover. All this is done in an ongoing effort to keep the racers safe in the case of a mishap. And perfectly executed.
There you go.
APBA doing wonderful things to increase the safety of APBA offshore racing. As we go back to Baja Supercat Racing, Bill, I saw a lot of Vortex shirts around that story.
Well, I did too, and I mean, we've heard a lot of rumors, a lot of suggestions this year, and I'd be willing to bet we're going to find out a lot more as the season goes on.
Drambuie on ice leading Hugh Fuller and John Tomlinson, but Pat Patel and Felix Sorales making a run, and Don Q. Rum.
And right now, it looks like Tomlinson and crew have decided on which is the right prop for the day. Their lead is growing every lap a little bit.
Right, Johnny's got that thing humming.
Mark Nemshoff agreeing with us, and it's pretty obvious John Tomlinson has a Drambuie and ice boat flying. But look at the speed out of Tommy Bahama.
This is just incredible. On the flat water, look at this thing, a rocket.
I don't know if we're just on the rev limiter or... You feel that? Yep.
Well, they're looking for more speed.
Yeah, and that's it. He is on the rev limiter. They just simply have reached the point where the boat won't go any faster. Look at his right hand. He is motionless on the throttles. Those things are jammed all the way down. The boat isn't leaving the water. He doesn't have to back out of it. It just won't go any quicker, but he'd love more.
Well, the Nimshoffs look calm, cool, and collected, but they've got a lot going on in front of them. They're coming up to the Super Cat Light inboard lead battle between Zip Express and Peppers.
Oh, Tommy Bahama. Stay behind Tommy Bahama. He's going to push him out.
I know. There was some good direction right there. Okay, now he's telling him, follow Tommy Bahama through that. Maybe they are hoping Tommy Bahama will force the lead boat to go wide, to take a longer line around the course. They want to try and take the shortcut line, just a shorter distance.
Well, they push Peppers out wide, which pushes Don Q out wide, which gives Tommy Bahama second in Super Cat. And they will now go chasing after Drambuie on ice. Wow, getting hectic out there on Lake Erie. Stay with us. Well, APBA Offshore always knows how to have a good time out on the road. The high-tech trailers announcement was held here at the Hard Rock, while most of us, like myself, were checking out the displays from Kiss and Skid Row. Our good buddy Bill Adam was over in the BG section of the Hard Rock, but we had fun anyway, and a good time was had by all. What a great time on the road, huh, Bill?
It was a good one. I don't remember much of it, but I know it was a good one.
Well, that's the way it is with most BG's fans.
Here are two guys here who are having a great time. They have obviously chosen the proper propeller today. They have got this thing working so well that, yes, they lose a little bit to Tommy Bahama on the flat water, but not enough to overcome what they can gain down the backstretch.
Boy, listen to that baby scream, huh?
It is perfect. Once more on board Tommy Bahama.
Now, this just amazes me, Bill. I mean, I don't care how smooth that water is. It's got to be a wild ride at those speeds. And they look like they're out for a Sunday cruise on your average lake.
Well, this is the one part of the course where they can actually take a brief rest. They can just kind of sit back, enjoy the flat water, go,
oh, no!
Listen.
What is that? What is that? I don't know, something.
Oh,
we lost the blade.
That definitely is something. That was the sound of a lot of money just getting torn in half.
Well, you could sure hear the big clunk. This team has just been snake-bitten by mechanical problems all year.
Man, I think they thought they had it today because they were running so strong on this intersection, and suddenly the bang.
Well, here's the Pier 57 boat, which now moves up to third. David Woods, the driver. Art Lilly, one of the best throttlemen in the business, with the throttles wide open through here. On to the Lucas Oil Super V's. Well, what else would you expect to see out front?
Is this a familiar picture?
Wyatt and Jeff having another flawless day.
And their whole year to seems to be going like this. This team is working so well together. The driver, the throttleman, and the crew, that's perfection.
Well, there's a look at our Lucas Oil Race Reset. And another boat that's having a great day. Good to see them back up front. The Conseco entry of Jade Johnson and Nigel Hook. They've really been working hard on getting this boat back up to the front, and it's really paying off here today. We have the opportunity to talk to Nigel about what changes they made to the Conseco entry.
You know, what we're trying to do is get the balance of the boat sorted out, because it's having gone from the big supercharged engines to the natural aspirated engines now. It's not performing as well as it did last year. So we're trying to move the CG around, and that's critical to get the boats to fly right in the rough water. And we're all set up for yesterday here. You know, in Cleveland, it was beautiful, blowing, big water out there, and today it looks pretty flat. The rain has really just flattened everything out. It's going to be very sticky.
Very sticky. Well, you know, it is so important. He talks about getting the CG right. And that's it. You don't want to come off the waves with the bow way up in the air. Then you're hitting more of a flat surface when you get back down, and that slows the boat down. Conversely, you definitely don't want to land bow down, so they have to be cautious.
Say hi to your mom.
Huh?
Hi, Mom.
Ah, hi, son. How are you doing out there? Nice to see you again.
Oh, big problems on Shockwave. Rich Tripoli and Doug Lewis have a fire on board.
Yeah, they haven't abandoned ship yet, so they don't look like they're overly worried.
Super Cat Light inboard. Let's check in with the battle between Peppers, who's still leading in front of Zip Express. And Zip Express taking a bit of a pounding through the waves.
Boy, see how these boats are flying, too. They just get up and dance across the surface. This would make me nervous as the devil, and these guys have not been any further apart than what you see them right here. Just a terrific battle.
Peppers is a big skater. Here comes how sweet it is. That's Brent Leach and John Peterson. Boat 39. I'm sorry, Bill. It's a 36-foot eliminator. And Team Tellem, which has had a good season as well. Gary Heon, John Kiley running it forward. Back to the big Super Cats. There's your third place boat. David Woods and Art Lilly, Pier 57.
Now, we didn't talk very much about them early on, as obviously they did not have the proper propeller choice. They weren't in the top 3 battle. Now with Tommy Ahama out of the picture, they seem to be in a position where they're actually going to challenge Don Q, and let's see what happens here.
Well, the 40-foot skater Don Q is running well. Drambuie is out front. But don't forget, there could still be a problem with Don Q if the penalty for the prop change comes into play.
But the racers themselves, they don't know about that. They have to keep running flat out.
For more results and point standings, or if you have a question for us, log on to www.apba-offshore.com. We're coming back. Welcome back to the Rockin' and Roarin' Offshore Grand Prix presented by Baja Marine Corporation, round 5 of the APBA Offshore Series. Big parade taking place on Saturday down to the Flats area of Cleveland, which is Party Central if you've ever been to Cleveland, Ohio. Great part of town. And this one is winding down, and it looks like John Tomlinson and Hugh Fuller are going to rack up another win here and extend their points lead in the Baja Supercats. That beautiful number 14 continues to lead as they begin the last lap.
Yeah, every lap they are just drawing out just a little bit more over second place here. This is Don Q. You can see they're also running beautiful. Very flat, solid run, but not in a challenging position. And back in third place, Pier 57. They continue to run strong, but not strong enough.
Lucas Oil Super V's, let's check in there. Nothing changed as it has basically all season. Genetics out front.
Yeah, talk about a balanced center of gravity, as we heard Nigel Hook talk about. Watch this boat as it launches out of the water and re-lands. It just looks textbook perfect. I mean, absolutely beautiful on the water here.
And he's coming in to take the checkered flag. Genetics Lake Cumberland Marine entry, picking up the win. Wyatt Fountain and Jeff Harris taking the honors here today. Well, they're going to pretty much wrap up this championship pretty quickly if the next couple of races continue on for them like this one has. Here comes a checkered flag, and they will be crowned our winners here in Cleveland. Let's check in with Super Cat Light inboard, where there's been a tremendous fight all day, and it looks like it's going to finish that way. Peppers and Zip Express having at it for the win.
Yeah, they're heading right down towards the finish line right now. Not far to go. Oops.
No, don't get behind him.
Wow, well, Neil Wabi really yelling at Dan Francis there. You could see Peppers decided to take one specific line in the course. They were trying to say, do not get behind that boat. Choose your own line. But naturally, Peppers wanted to pinch them down, force them out wide, but they are still incredibly close here.
Well, you can see George and Michael Stancomb looking over their left shoulders to see where Zip Express is.
Yeah, and I think for good reason. Look at how close they are.
Wow, right in the spray as they come down the final run to the checkers.
Boy, they're coming into the calm water right here. Oh, no, and one more time he goes through that spray. Listen, he's breathing hard. He is trying everything. One more time, again through the spray. What is he doing? I think Peppers are just choosing any line they want in the course right now.
Well, the Peppers boat, which won at Fort Myers, trying to get another win here today, and Zip Express doing everything they can to catch them in the final feet to the checkers. Oh, the win goes to Peppers.
Absolutely unbelievable. What competition all the way through that race.
Well, the 36-foot skater Peppers takes the win. We go back to Super Cat, where these guys have not had to deal with anything quite that dramatic all day long.
Now, I think they're going to be thinking about having some of their sponsors' product tonight because they have had a perfect day. They chose the right propellers. Yeah, they lost a little bit in that smooth water inside, but boy, when they got back outside, they were really unchallenged, and the boat rides so well.
Bill, you talked about it earlier about how Hugh Fuller and John Tomlinson have spent so much time racing together. How big of a key is that to the performance of a team?
Well, you know, I think a lot of it goes down to that they can compare notes, and they've both been in water conditions similar to just about anything they run up against. They'll sit, they'll talk about what warm-up was like, what yesterday was like, and even what last year was like. They put all those things together and they say, all right, this worked for us under these conditions, let's do it again. And they are.
And in so many forms of motorsports, there's just a driver who works the throttle and the steering wheel, but in offshore powerboat racing, you've got two men in the boat doing things together that they really have to be in sync. It really is a team form of motorsport.
Very much so a team, and this team is working so well. Just listen to that boat sing.
And making the final run up the cut to the checkered flag, John Tomlinson on the throttles, Hugh Fuller behind the steering wheel. The Drambuie on ice team gonna do it again here today, picking up another win in the 2001 APBA Offshore Series. Don Q. Rum will take an unofficial second place finish here. We'll have to see what happens with them in post-race tech inspection, how the final results will stack up.
Yeah, once again, if they did change propellers, that is specifically barred by regulation, and that, of course, would be a penalty, so we do have to find that out. You can see Tomlinson and Fuller have already slowed down.
Yep, and round number 5 is in the books. Stay with us, we're coming back. Speed Vision presentation of the APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series has been brought to you by Baja. Speed changes you. By Lucas Oil Products, the official lubricant of the American Powerboat Association Offshore Pro Series. And by Liberty Coach, the official motor coach provider of the APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series. Well, it's been a great weekend of racing here in Cleveland, and here's the winners in our Super Cat Light inboard class. The Peppers taking the win. Stan Combs, George, and Michael, the winners here today. Well, another flat water race, and once again, we find you guys in victory lane. And this event looked a lot like Fort Myers. A lot of Fort Myers boats won again. What's the similarity here, Mike?
The flat water, Zip Express had us scared there on that 8th and final lap, man. I turned around and he was on us, and we just said, put the hammer down, and God was with us for this one, and it's the best year we've had racing in 15 years.
George, what's making the difference? Why are you guys suddenly so good, and especially in the flat water?
That boat's just set up for flat water. You know, we did all our testing at Lake X, and that's the conditions and the way we balance the boat. The Bravo boats are faster in the flat. The number 6 boats are faster in the rough. It was a flat water day. It was a Bravo day.
So, Mike, tell me the truth. The old man hasn't lost it, has he?
Not at all, man. The man can drive like you wouldn't believe. I'm so proud to be with him.
Well, that's 2 victories for them. The Zenetics Lake Cumberland Marine Boat, 4 in a row. Impressive in the Lucas Oil Super Vs, Bill.
What also impresses me, too, is the finish of that Conseco Scarab. They have been working hard in that boat, getting stronger, and now a second place. And here's Ralph with our winners.
John, we talked at the beginning of the race about getting your mental strategy together, and it really seemed to look that way from the outside. How tough was it on the inside of that cockpit?
Inside was good. Hugh's awesome, man. The guy's awesome. He hits his marks every time. Man, Lord's blessed this team so much, and I'm so thankful. And it just was a great day. We didn't have a perfect boat today. I think we could have been a little better, but there's, Don Q once again, end of the race. Here he comes, pushing. A few more laps, I don't know. He gets strong at the end.
Hugh, if the boat wasn't perfect, what was wrong, and how did you compensate for it?
Oh, I think the boat was pretty close to right. We wish we'd had a little different prop. But I think at the end of the day, it got a little rougher, and I think that's what we needed to keep Don Q behind us.
Titles chase are past the halfway point now. What does this team do from here towards the championship?
We got to keep trying to win races. We're not going to alter off our path. We're not going to change. We'll go out to win every race, and that's the direction we're going to keep going. Race hard, run it hard, and let the chips fall.
Well, let's take a look at the final results of our Baja Pro Series. And look at that, Don Q pushed back to third. They were penalized a full minute.
And that is really going to hurt them in the points chase. They were found to have changed propellers. That's a definite no-no.
Here's a look at the Kinetics Cup point standings for the Super Cat division. And as you can see, it does hurt Don Q in the points. They are now 45 behind Drambuie and Ice as we're past the halfway point. Well, the stand comes celebrating here in the dock area. Tune in September 19th at 10 p.m. Eastern for our next APBA Offshore Baja Pro Series event when we come to you from Toronto, Canada. It will be the series' only trip north of the border, so don't miss the action. For more information, log on to www.speedvision.com. This has been a presentation of APBA Offshore Television in association with Speedvision. For Bill Adam, I'm Ralph Sheen. So long from Cleveland.